Officially live. So, welcome back to RacerX Wednesday, guys. It has been a month since I have spoken to you. I haven't put out anything on Instagram or anything letting you guys know that I was going to be live tonight, but it's time. It's RacerX Wednesday. And like I said, I think the last time I came live, May 25th, and I had some serious problems with YouTube. But hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I've got my mic, I've got everything turned on. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and turn the stream on. As you guys jump into the live tonight, please do me a big, gigantic favor. Hit the thumbs up for me, and I would really appreciate that. It just lets everybody know that we are live tonight. I have a lot to discuss with you guys. The main topic of tonight's video is a little bit different. Um, I had some notions on discussing something else, but actually tonight, really all the buzz is about the Hurricane versus the Hemi. I put out a video on this that's kind of gone crazy, and I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this. Like I said, I just wanted to do another live before the end of the month since I hadn't done any lives with you guys in June. We got a lot to talk about, guys. We really do. Already almost 100 people on. So do me a big, gigantic favor. One more time, guys. Hit thumbs up for me. I'm going to go ahead and check out some of your comments. So who we got in the house tonight. I got a whole page of notes I want to talk to you guys about. And it should be a lot of fun. Let's hope, fingers crossed, that the YouTube app will work okay tonight. Because last time, if you guys remember, I had like 400 people on or something. And then the app literally just crashed here on my phone and we had to restart. And then I didn't even get to say bye to you guys. It crashed again. So fingers crossed. Hopefully they've got the bugs worked out of this new YouTube live with the new orientation and everything. So anyway, guys, let me check and see who we got in the house real quick. I'm going to run through relatively quickly. Thank you guys for being on. My man Sovereign Knight, as always, as one of my mods is here. Good to see him. Green Rush is here. Good to see you, buddy. Who else do we have? Let's see here. Robert is in the house. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining. Steamroller 72. Sound is good. Thank you very much. Always got to do a sound check with you guys. Let's see who else we got. Harold is in. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining. Let's see here. Scott Free Swift with the muscle. Stuart Craig with the thumbs up. Chris Walker saying meow. Let's see. Ardell was in the house. Great to see you. Let's see. What does Green Rush say? RacerX. Let's see. The best at this content. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Like I said, hopefully, as long as you guys can hear me okay tonight, and as long as our stream stays on. Now, I'm going to tell you this before anything else. If the stream cuts out and we're short of like 40 minutes, I will rejoin another stream. I'll just start it again. Let's hope it doesn't happen tonight, guys. Hopefully all the bugs are worked out. I have had a lot of trouble with the YouTube live thing for the past many months. I don't know, ever since they went over to this new format, guys. Steven is here. Hey, dude, let's see. What do you think about a GT 500? Let's see, with low miles, Kona blue, painted stripe. Beautiful. Love that car. I love Kona blue. One of my favorite colors. Beautiful in the GT 500. Fantastic car. If you can get a hold of one at a decent price, you're going to love it. Let's see. Bruce hit the thumbs up. Absolutely. Let's see here. S8ER01Z. That is a different stream name. I'll take the 5.7 all day long over the Hurricane anything. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of both. And having driven the Hurricane now, you guys, hopefully you guys saw my video about driving the twin turbo Hurricane equipped Jeep Wagoneer. Obviously, that's not a performance car, but it was neat to just kind of drive the thing. To give you my initial thoughts, that is the only thing it's going in right now in terms of Mopars. So we got to base it on what we got. So anyway, we'll go into it. Let's see. What does John say? What's up, RacerX? Hi, everybody. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see here. Who else have I missed? Oh, wow. My stuff is jumping around, guys, so bear with me. Okay, so Dragman is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see. Green Rush. Who's OC Motivator shirt? My man OC Motivator sends me shirts from time to time. He's a good supporter of the channel. Maybe he'll be on later tonight. We'll see. Let's see here. IYB Bugsy Ziegel. Greetings from Dodge in Tampa. Let's see. Nobody is excited about the Hurricane motors. You know, I will admit that there's not a lot of buzz around the Hurricane. Everybody loves the Hemi. That is what Dodge has kind of hung their hat on for the last, well, forever. I mean, for a really long time. It's kind of the identity of the brand. But I put out two really big videos in the past, like, what, in the past month that have done extremely well, sort of explaining why Dodge did what they did, like Mopar, Stellantis, all those guys, basically what's happening. And then I did drive the Hurricane and kind of give you my thoughts on that. So we'll talk more about it. Let's see here. Torque fan, good to see you, buddy. Hey X. Let's see. Herman, let's see. Turrington is in the house. We've also got Vasilla RC Drag Racing. What's up, RacerX? Let's see. How am I doing today? I'm doing just fine. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you guys being on. 53 thumbs up, guys. Please hit thumbs up on your way in the door tonight. Like I said, we'll get into the content here in a minute. I just want to say hi to everybody. And then we'll start talking about not only some of the recent videos that I put out, but we'll talk about the main topic of tonight's live, which is the Hemi and the Hurricane. So we'll talk about it. Let's see. Jerry's in the house and always love hearing from you, X. Thank you very much. Pandas Charger 57 Hemi with the sunglasses. I love it. Let's see here. Herman with the deuces. Let's see. Charles saying thanks for all your efforts bringing us info. I really appreciate that, Charles. Thank you so much for being on. Scott saying love your channel. Thank you very much, Scott. Let's see here. Vasilla saying Central Cali in the house. So yeah, that's why I do this at like 9 Eastern, because I have a lot of folks out in the California, all along the west coast of the country, and it's still relatively early there. So let's see here. Who else do we got? Chris Walker. Let's see here. Thanks for the Nenti. Sovereign Knight. If it happens, I'll attempt to reshare the link. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. John in the house. Let's see. Gary Evans. How you doing tonight, X? I'm doing good, Gary. Thank you for joining my live tonight. Let's see here. Brick Mania Delaney, 56 years old. Let's see. In my 392 Hemi, Scat will take me until I can't drive anymore. Nothing wrong with that. Keep that thing in good condition. Said saying good evening. I pray all is well. It definitely is. Thank you for joining. Let's see here. Who else do we got? I'm going to try and find some folks I have not talked to. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. Let's see here. RacerX, are you getting a Demon 170 question? A lot of people have surmised that I would somehow be getting the Demon 170. Obviously with the markups on that car, all that sort of stuff. I have told you guys I am getting a Mopar hopefully here relatively soon. I can't let the cat out of the bag on this. I put out a few hints here and there, but I can't tell you. But I appreciate you guys asking. We'll just have to wait and see what materializes. This is something I've been working on with Dodge and with one of my local dealerships as well. And I'm very blessed. I hope to be able to bring you guys something very cool that you guys will really like. Still have the Dark Horse on order. Nothing has changed there. Although, as you guys are well aware, not a whole lot is changing on the Dark Horse stuff. I think it's still a little bit delayed. So we'll see. We'll see how things pan out, guys. Let's see here. What a stand. Okay, Alan says, I think Dodge are making a mistake with this new engine. Steven says, love the Hemi and the Hurricane. So he's kind of changed things up a little bit. Bass Lightning says, hello from Vermont. Good to see you. What does Standy say? He says, I got my order confirmation at 2:09 today. Challenger Scat Pack, wide body fully loaded, and I mean fully loaded MSRP. Great to hear. Now, I will say this, and just be aware of this. Many folks out there have messaged me on Instagram. I've seen it in my comments that their cars are not getting built. I'm talking people that have had deposits down, who have had all sorts of confirmation come through, and then all of a sudden they get notified that Dodge is not going to build their car. And I don't want to I hopefully they will. I pray that they will. But a lot of people have been messaging me, telling me, hey, look, I ordered this car 8 months ago. Now I'm being told after all of that they're not going to build my car. And man, that really, really sucks. So I'm really hoping that, when you guys tell me you ordered something new, first of all, congratulations. I'm super excited for you. I hope they build it, and I hope they come through for you. Fingers crossed. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Let's see. I'm going to jump down just a little bit. Who have I got? Russ says, keep up the good work. Thank you very much. JF, how long will the Wrangler 392 be around for? Last year. It will not be around for 2024. But none of the Hemis will be around for 2024. So just keep that in mind. Let's see here. Have you made any more progress on the ADM battle? Great question from Steven. A lot of you guys know that I started a petition. It was interesting reading on the forums and stuff. A lot of people were mad at me for starting that petition, which was really weird because I was trying to defend, all the enthusiasts out there from getting gouged. And yes, I will say there has been some progress on that. It is a very slippery, difficult slope. It's kind of like, if you guys know anything about like gun control, it's kind of like everybody, there's a ton of people like that want some stuff to go one way or the other, but then there's all these like lobbies and all these different things that kind of stand in the way of progress. It's very much the same with this, and it is a slippery thing. I will say there are several government agencies that grab a hold of my petition that now has like 51,000 signatures, which is a lot of people that don't like the fact that dealers can charge whatever they want to, despite the fact that they have a sticker right on there. We're the only country in the world where dealerships can do that. Everywhere else, it's illegal. And you know what? It is what it is. But I've been notified. I haven't checked in a while, but I know there were a couple of government agencies that kind of grabbed onto that, used it as part of proposed legislation, but I have not heard anything more about it. So, really good question. Hopefully, it happens to be one of those things that it's just so slow to progress. And but I will say I have found out a couple of other Dodge dealerships that are not doing the gouging thing, and those dealerships are out there. They're just really hard to find, which is kind of a shame. So anyway, we paid the price as car enthusiasts. It is what it is. So let's see here. Sovereign Knight even put the link to the petition in there. There you go. Let's see. Thank you, buddy. Let's see. What does Alan say? I own a 71 CUDA, four-speed convertible 427 original Hemi, real horsepower, not a yes. That is the heyday of the muscle car back in the day. And I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, with Dodge going to electric muscle, I know so many people really hate the concept of electric muscle. I've talked to you guys about it in the past. If I was able to get a hold of a pre-production Banshee, um, you better believe I would absolutely drive the ever living garbage out of that car. I would put it in drift mode. I would go out. I would race. I would race everything. I'd race the Tesla Plaid. I would race. I mean, it doesn't matter. I would race the Navara. It doesn't. I would just race everything just to see how that thing stacked up, to see how it drove, and then I would give you my honest opinion on the car. And I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm not one of those folks that just completely shuts down. It's like EV shutdown. No, EV equals no. I'm not. I'm not that way. If it's really fast, I'm going to try it because I like stuff that's fast. And if it's different, I'll tell you guys. If I don't like it, I'll tell you. I'll be like, look. And it's funny because I do get comments sometimes where people will say, oh, well, Racer X is just a sellout for Dodge because I did a review on the Hurricane and I didn't hate it. So just because I didn't dislike the Hurricane means I'm some sort of a sellout or Dodge is paying me to have that opinion or come on, really? Come on. You guys know me. I mean, I'll go out, I'm going to give you my honest assessment. And what I appreciate is speed. And I appreciate all sorts of different makes. Do I appreciate GTRs because they're a 6-cylinder twin turbo? Yeah, absolutely. Like I told you guys, go to 2K sometime. 90% of those cars, the fastest street cars in the world, are not V8s. They're inline sixes and twin turbo sixes. I mean, two JZ cars, stuff like that. I mean, those cars are really freaking fast, like 6-second fast, legitimate street cars. Sometimes you'll see some twin turbo Lambos and stuff, super high dollar stuff with V10s. Sometimes you'll see Cowboy Vipers with V10s. Very rarely do you see cars. I mean, you'll see some hopped up Mustangs and stuff, but the fastest cars in general are not the V8s. So, but I love the way they sound. I still love the Hemi. So, I mean, I am just appreciative of all of those things. And you guys know that about me. You guys watch my channel. I'm going to be objective. But if I got a hold of a Banshee, I would race everything. I'd race people on unicycles. I don't care. I want to see how it stacks up against everything. And if it is fun to drive, I'm going to tell you it's fun to drive. If people think, oh, Racer X said it's fun to drive, that makes him a sellout because I hate EVs, well, then fine, whatever you want to say. But I'm going to give you my honest assessment of it. If I get a chance to drive the Demon 170, I'm going to do the same exact thing. Of course, we already know how that car is going to perform for the most part. We don't know what times it's going to run when it actually gets in the hands of people that race it. But in terms of will it be cool and fun? Yeah, I mean, it'll be like a super fast version of the Hellcats Red Eyes that we have now. More advanced trans brake, obviously. Bigger blower. I think it'd be a fun car to drive on the street, which we know. The Banshee is all unknown. We just don't know. And here's the thing: I was going to talk about this. Roadkill Nights is coming up here in August, the middle of August. Have you guys seen that? You can go to Dodge's website. You can find all sorts of information on the teams that were picked for Roadkill Nights. The first three teams have come out. The only one that looks familiar to me from last year is Tony from Corrupt Builds, but they still have three more teams to unveil. It's going to be a total of six teams. This year, they're going to be putting the Hurricane Inline 6 in a build. And you better believe that you're going to have some 1,000+ horsepower cars. A matter of fact, I would be willing to bet you that the cars this year make more power than the cars last year with the red eye engine in them. Just a theory, but I'll be willing to bet you that's what's going to happen. And it's in a much lighter engine. Now, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I realize there's going to be pros and cons to both. Guys, do me a big favor. Oh, we've got almost 200 people in the live right now. Hit thumbs up for me, please. Just lets everybody know that we're on. It helps channel a little bit, and I really appreciate it. Guys, if I missed any super chats, I don't think I missed any just yet, but I'm going to try to get to a lot of questions tonight as well. But we do have a lot to talk about. Let me grab a couple more people, and then I want to jump into something really quick. Let's see here. Thank you once again, Sovereign Knight, for putting my links out there. That's super helpful. Who else have I missed? I'm going to see if I can talk to a couple people I have not talked to. Raphael says electric muscle makes no sense. I think initially, yeah, it really doesn't. It's kind of an oxymoron. It's like jumbo shrimp, right? If it doesn't sound like a muscle car, it's not muscle. So to a degree, I get that. I think Dodge could really make a lot of improvements on the sound of the car as well. I can think of a couple of sounds that would sound kind of cool. I was actually at Busch Gardens a couple of days ago, and I was riding a ride there called the Cheetah. And when that thing takes off, it works on. It's a different kind of principle that it works with, right? It's like it basically has you've got the polarity of magnets, and it reverses the polarity, and it sends you shooting down the track. And they have it make this wicked sound, kind of like a cheetah, and it sounds awesome. And I'm like, that's probably what the Banshee should sound like. I hear these other sounds, but I've not been super pleased with what I've heard so far. But as Tim Kaniskis told us last year, they're still tweaking the sound of it. I put out a couple of videos about some of the other sounds they've had, and maybe they should make it sound like a V8. I don't know, guys. That's a tough one. I think no matter what sound they make it have, there's going to be people that absolutely hate it. It's kind of a no-win deal. But anyway. Let's see who just came through. Sovereign Knight. He said, "Okay, folks, let's start it off 5 for the live." Thank you, my friend. Sovereign Knight, always coming through. I really appreciate it, buddy. Let's see here. Who else did I miss so far? I missed a bunch of folks, guys. I'm sorry. Steamroller72 says, "Why do people hate the Hurricane?" That's a really good question. Here, my only answer to that, Steamroller, is because it's new. That's the biggest thing. It's new, and it doesn't sound like a V8 because it simply isn't a V8. I think eventually the Hurricane, people will be more apt to like the Hurricane than they will something like the Banshee, because the Banshee is just so far out in left field for the average enthusiast, the average muscle car person. They can't get on board with electric yet. At some point, maybe they will be able to. The Hurricane is a little bit more easy to transition to because it's a twin turbo. It still actually sounds pretty good when you drive it in person. No, it doesn't sound like a V8. I've driven everything, guys. You know that. But at the same time, the performance of that Hurricane really surprises me. Not only the Hurricane 4, but the Hurricane 6. And this is, well, how can it, they just shut off. When you say it's an inline 6, it doesn't matter. But I mean, the thing is, and it does drive different, right? So it doesn't quite have that initial tip in thump like a 392 has. And I mentioned that in my video. But when the turbos kick in, like the thing just goes. I'm not going to lie. I mean, even as watered down as that is, and believe it or not, 510 horsepower, and that thing weighs almost like 7,000 pounds or whatever it is. I'm talking about the engine. I'm sorry, the engine is very light, but the Wagoneer Series 3, the Grand Wagoneer Series 3 that I was driving is pretty heavy, big SUV, and it still made that SUV feel light. And the way that it just gathers power, you know by driving it that it's a twin turbo. You can just feel the way the turbos stack mile an hour. So yeah, like On the highway, that thing would be a monster, even at 510 horsepower. And it feels more like it makes 700 horsepower because just the way that it drives. Like I said, it kind of lacks that initial torque hit, but once it starts to go, I mean, the mile an hour just stacks, and you can just feel it, kind of sitting you back in the seat. It's kind of like a little baby version of what my Mustang with twin turbos on it, what it does. Obviously, not nearly as fast. It's considerably, in terms of the boost, actually a fair amount of boost, but I mean, little bitty turbos compared to what I have, and it's just not quite the same thing, but it is still impressive when you drive it. And I was not unhappy with the driving experience that it offered. So there's that. A lot of people hated on the quality of the Grand Wagoneer. I'm going to tell you right now, I was sitting in the thing and it felt awesome. Everybody's like, oh, it's just a piece of junk. So many people said the Hurricane was an absolute piece of junk. Having never driven it, having never seen it, I can assure you that it's not. I saw it at SEMA. I've seen the engine taken apart. Um, Everything about the engine, this was really the point. I mean, I guess I kind of segued into this pretty hard, but everything about that engine, and I know you guys don't necessarily want to hear this, but the truth is, everything about that engine, it is just better. The fuel injection is better. The way it circulates oil is better. It's basically a fully built engine that loves boost versus like your natural aspirated 5.7 and 6.4 engines, which do not like boost, right? Land rings are not happy under boost with those engines. This thing loves boost. I cannot tell you. There's a video that I want to put out for you next month. I'm waiting for permission to put it out, but there's another variant of that engine that I think you guys will think is pretty darn cool. I'm not going to say much more about it. I can't say much more about it because I said I wouldn't, but just wait and see. But I will tell you that, when you're talking about something that's fully built, something that loves boost, something that's really comes alive with a tune in it. I mean, the current Hemis, guys, if you put a tune on them, they don't react hardly at all. They just don't. There's not much happens with the tune. You can throw lots of mods at a 392. It really doesn't pick up all that much power, guys. It comes very optimized from the factory. Now, I love the 392. They're fun to drive. I love that engine. I love it. Love the way it sounds. But if you're a performance person, it just doesn't compare to the new Hurricane. It just doesn't. Like the Hurricane, it's lighter. Like I said, I mean, everything about it is better with the exception of sound. Those Hemis, they're really heavy. They're iron block. You don't have any of those restrictions with this new engine. I mean, it's 4 valves per cylinder, dual overhead cam. It's just a much more advanced engine. And everybody says, oh, it's just a piece of crap. It's going to break down. Like, where are people getting that? They're just mad because it's not a Hemi. And I get it to a degree. People are slow to change. They don't like new. Okay. And I understand. But I'm telling you, if you're a performance guy like I am, and just about all the other true hardcore performance guys, when I tell like Demonology, you guys know he and I are good buddies. He thinks the Hurricane is awesome. When you talk to people that know and understand and appreciate engines, a lot of people are really excited about the Hurricane. And I've heard so many comments, guys. Oh, it's just Euro trash. Wait till that thing just breaks down and falls apart. It won't tow. It does everything better. It tows more than the Hemi, all that stuff. I still love the Hemi. Don't get me wrong. I still wish they were making the Hemi. And I told you guys in a recent video, when I talked to Tim Kaniskas, I've talked to him multiple times. He loves the Hemi too. He doesn't want the Hemi to go away. He knows that's Dodge's bread and butter. He's a very smart guy. And he's a car guy. He's one of the few CEOs that is a true car guy. And that's why I have a lot of respect for him, because you can sit and talk camshaft profiles with him. You can sit and talk about, camber. You can talk about like all the things that real gearheads like myself know and understand when it comes to drag race. Like he knows all that stuff. I can't imagine very many CEOs really understand that. They may understand the numbers, they may understand maybe even the history or the heritage, but when it really comes down to it, are they really car guys? Well, he is. Guys, his hands were pretty much tied. I'm gonna, you guys heard, if you guys saw my last video about why the Hemi went away, it's got 200 something thousand views in a couple of weeks. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But this is a big reason that the Hemi is not with us anymore. And it has nothing to do with the performance of the Hemi in terms of, well, kind of the performance in terms of the emissions of it. But it has nothing to do with how much like Dodge wanting to go away from the Hemi. That was not a thing. You have to understand the bigger picture of what's happening within our government and within foreign governments, out there in the world. Then you start to see it. And with Stellantis's 2030 program, they're committing to 50% of the entire fleet of Stellantis vehicles being EV by 2030. And now that's a little scary, guys. We have 211 people on, guys. Please hit thumbs up for me. Now, here's where this is where things are going to get interesting. I'm going to look at your comments here because when we do talk about electrics, okay, I'm all aboard on the Hurricane. Matter of fact, if they did a Hurricane hybrid, like if they came out, just think about this for a second. If Dodge came out and said, listen, we're going to give you a 750 horsepower Hurricane equipped new Challenger, and then we're going to give you an electric assist for the front wheels, just like an E-Ray that makes 125 horsepower. So you're talking about something approaching 900 horsepower with an electric assist for the front wheels. So essentially, it's all-wheel drive. Can you imagine how fast that thing would be on the street? That thing would eat up everything. And with the twin turbos putting out all the top end speed, the electric helping down low, I mean, it would be even better than an E-Ray because the E-Ray doesn't have twin turbos on it. It would be more tunable. Like there's just so much you could do with something like that. So I am excited for that. And you don't have to charge it. So it's even better. Best of both worlds. I would be all aboard. I would love, love, love to see that. That doesn't mean it's coming down the pipe anytime soon, but I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility. So I'm looking at what's possible. Now, here's something else I want to mention. And this is what worries me with electrics. And so many of you guys have talked about this. The way the EPA calculates credits, the fact that the Hemi's going away because Dodge pays billions, not millions, billions, Stellantis, in penalties. Not, the penalties aren't in billions, but it's the EPA credits that they buy that total in the billions. The penalties are still in the hundreds of millions just to have the Hemis, and they haven't even imposed the fines for the last couple of years yet. The writing's on the wall with that. But when it comes to electric, is it really fair that they have to go out and purchase EPA credits from Tesla, who's a direct competitor, when we already know that the resources that it takes to get all of that, the lithium out of the ground, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, it tears up the earth, the heavy equipment that has to be run to get that stuff out of the ground. There's a lot of drawbacks to it. And then when we talk about battery recycling and things like that, and that doesn't mention the power. So like, when you talk about a place like Texas right now where people are dying because it's so hot, right? The Texas grid right now, I live in Florida now, guys, but obviously spent the last 20 years in Texas. The grid in Texas is really, really struggling. The grid in California in many places is really, really struggling already. So if we quadruple the amount of EVs that are on the road over the course of the next, say, 3 years, 4 years, how bad will that really hurt things? I am really concerned about it. We do not have the infrastructure to be going that hard on electrics. It needs to be, I'm not saying electrics don't have their place because they do. I respect them. People say I hate electrics. I don't hate electrics. I've driven a lot of fast electrics, and I've actually had some fun in some of the electric stuff. My mower's electric. I love it. But like I said, if it's fast, I respect it. But the thing is that I worry about the charging and the power that goes into these power stations, whether it's nuclear power, coal power, whatever it is not always clean energy. And so you have that to think about as well. So why is it that Tesla gets to bank every credit that they have and make pure profit? That's how Tesla turns a profit every single quarter, is because they make profit on the EPA credits that companies like Stellantis, Ford, Chevy, they all have to buy those credits from somewhere. Well, most of them get them from Tesla, who doesn't have, they just get them for free. And then it's like free money. But is Tesla really a clean company? I mean, I get that they're trying to be progressive, all that kind of stuff, but the energy that's put out there is not always clean. And the way that they get those materials out of the ground is not always clean. They're heavier cars. So it's not quite so cut and dry. So the EPA, are you guys feel like they're playing favorites? I'm trying to watch my comments, guys. They're coming across. Is it? What do you guys think? And I saw, you know what? I missed a super chat. Who did I miss? Jay Beeman. I'm sorry, I missed your super chat, buddy. I made it. I like the Kia. That was clean. Well, thank you, my friend. You talk about the EV6. We'll talk about that as well because I just drove the brand new Kia EV6 GT, and that was a pretty darn cool car. Coolest Kia I've ever driven by far. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Like, do you guys feel like this is kind of a whack thing? I tell you all the time, quit blaming Tim Kaniskus about this. Okay. If you haven't seen my video, go watch it on the real reason why the Hemi's going away. A lot of people, it's basically, it doesn't make the situation suck any less. But initially, I was like a lot of you guys. I was like, "This is Dodge doing that. Like, what the heck? What is Tim think?" Like, I was a little upset about it, and it has nothing to do with the executives at Dodge. Whether people think it does or not, I know the truth. I see the numbers. I know what they are, and they did not have a choice, and it sucks. And it has nothing to do with what he wanted or the rest of the executive team, who's a great executive team, what they wanted. Um, Ram. I mean, they're upgraded. The Hurricane is an upgraded engine. Don't get me wrong. Like even like when you look at something like the Wagoneer, the base engine is the 6.4. The upgraded engine is the Hurricane. That's the nice what they would consider to be their premium engine. And I know why. I mean, like I told you, it's better in every way. I know people are having a hard time with that, but guys, I know how those two engines are designed. Okay, the Hemi, that Hemi is basically it's just kind of going out of date. As much as we love it, it's still fast. It's still fun. I'm not taking anything away from the Hemi, but you can't deny everything that the Hurricane has to offer. Now, when it comes to the electric stuff, guys, you tell me. You guys tell me what you think. What do you think about all this? Do you think it's just whack that the governments are basically forcing everything down our throats? When I say our throats, they're basically forcing the manufacturers to adhere to, to an electric agenda. That is what's going on. So it is a little bit weird. It's a little bit scary. It's kind of frustrating. But I really do worry about the grids. Where are we going to get all this power from to charge this many EVs? The other thing about it is what if you live increasingly properties getting more expensive, right? Two-bedroom apartments here in Florida, like $2,700 a month for a two-bedroom apartment. Okay. You don't get an EV charging station at an apartment. And yet you have this massive amount of people throughout this entire country that live in places that you can't even charge these things. When you're on a long road trip, you know, you don't always, I mean, yeah, Tesla will find you a place to charge and it's doable. It's a hassle. I get it. But I mean, I worry because if we have that many more EVs out there and they don't continue to put out just, charging stations everywhere, eventually you're going to get to where you're pull up to one of those things and there's a massive wait. And it's not like just getting gas where the person's there for 30 seconds or a minute or whatever it is, or 2 minutes, whatever. Like if the person has to sit there for an hour to get to their next destination and you've got 8 people in line, that's another thing that I do just kind of worry about. Obviously, if you put a supercharger in your house and your garage, that's doable. But that is not reality for a lot of people with the expenses being what they are, the interest rate. I just really worry about us moving that quickly. Now, maybe the government felt like something needed to happen. It needed to happen fast. Da, 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 da. And I see all sorts of things. Some people say that the amount of emissions coming out of the back of our tailpipes makes like a 0.018 difference. It's nothing. And then you've heard other people saying that the planet's getting hotter and it's a huge problem. And I don't know what side of the fence you guys sit on. That's a huge rabbit hole. We won't go quite down that. Everybody has their own opinion. But I will say that it is a little weird that we're being pushed so heavily and so quickly towards electric vehicles when the infrastructure clearly doesn't support it. And they're not really talking about that. And most experts do agree with that. That it's just like if you ask people that own a Tesla, how much energy it takes. It takes a lot more energy than your whole rest of your house combined. And so when you add that into the equation and what's already going on with the grids right now in places like Texas where it's 118 degrees outside, and they're going to start doing rolling blackouts at some point, again, like we had to do last year. And then what happens with your electric car, right? It's worrisome. It is worrisome. Let me grab some comments. My man 3V Project. Hold on a second. Let me see what he 3V Project. Giles, he says, hi RacerX, hope you're doing well. Glad to be able to watch your live tonight. Buddy, thank you as always for your support. My man 3V Project has been a supporter of the channel super long time, jumping in with a nice big super chat there. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it as always. And man, I'm glad you were able to make the live tonight. So that's good stuff. Like I said, it's been a month, guys, since I've been live with you. So I'm really glad that we got to do this tonight. Let me grab some comments here. Oh, let's see here. Biking D. Hope, let's see. Hope not Cuda is a Plymouth, never a Dodge. Would prefer Coronet. Dan's hobbies. Let's see here. He says that's my concern. He's talking to Ricochet. I didn't see Ricochet. Oh, Ricochet says concerned about durability in the 25 and 3500. The engine has to be robust. And you know what? I agree with you. When you talk about diesels, I don't really know what the agenda is with the diesels. When you get up into the 2500 and a 3500 and the stuff that really, really has to tow. And they've talked about electrics and stuff like that with towing as well because they make so much torque, just like a diesel does. But the issue with that is that, and almost anybody that's bought the new electric 150 or any of the new, I mean, the Ram EV, I mean, they've got them all coming out. But it seriously degrades the towing range when you're towing something. And so it's like if you have something, you need to say you have a boat and you want to tow it to the lake that's 200 miles away. Your EV F 150 or your EV Ram probably won't tow it there. And that's why you buy the truck in the first place, because it you just don't get the range out of it when you're towing a heavy boat. And so there's another piece of it right there, guys. There's a lot of holes you can poke in this whole thing. It's a weird spot we're in right now, guys. Do me a big favor. We had over 200 people on. Let's get at least a couple hundred likes tonight. I really appreciate it. Let's see who else. The Truth Speaker. Think about how fast M3 and M4 are. Now, I agree with you 100%. And that's why I tell you guys all the time when it comes to inline turbo sixes, a lot of companies have gone to these, and a lot of people have had a lot of success with these. I mean, they're fantastic. Now they take a little bit of learning in terms of learning how to tune them right and all that kind of stuff, but the potential, the capability of those things, man, it's up there. It really is. The way that the inlines spin, the way that they can create RPMs, especially with the dual overhead cam design. Just like I mean, look at the Coyotes guys. I mean, it's like you have your Hemi that handles 7 pounds, and you have a Coyote that handles double, and those things really wake up under boost. Coyotes love boost, but it's because double overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder, just like the Hurricane, and it's just a more modern, advanced, more tunable, more moddable platform. So, like I said, guys, please don't get me, please don't mistake what I'm selling you for saying that, hey, the Hemi, I don't like it. I love the Hemi, guys. I love the sound of that thing. Every time I hear a Hemi go down the street, I know it. So I know it's an adjustment. I get it. But I also know what feels fast. And like I said, for all, I like the Hurricane for all the right reasons. Now, some other people said the Hurricane doesn't get any better fuel economy than the Hemis do. And believe it or not, sometimes the Hemis actually really didn't get all that bad of fuel economy. Like a 5.7, if it's not driven hard, actually didn't get bad fuel economy. But the Hurricane is still better, and that's why they moved to it. Is because it's just better. So now, if you're stepping on it, obviously it's going to be the same kind of thing, right? You're not going to get a ton of mileage out of it if you're really in the with turbo engines. It's kind of feast or famine. It really is. Like it's my car outside. I mean, it's like thing will get 20 miles a gallon if I baby it. But then if I step on it, it gets like 4. It's just, you can just watch it suck the fuel down. So it all depends. It really does. Let me see. I did see another super chat come in, though. Don't want to miss it. Oh, my man, Aaron Nilsson with the super chat. And let's see. Oh, it's got the Fox on there. Number 1. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Aaron. Thank you for being generous this evening. Let's see, we're almost at 200 likes as well. So thank you guys very much. I'm going to grab a couple more comments. Formula 9, do you think the Charger will come in 2 and 4 door variants? Really good question on this Formula 9. And my personal thought is no. I have heard rumors that the new Charger EV will also come in a boy. This question's kind of deep because this is a great question. Um, I don't think so. I think Dodge will have a two-door variant, and I think that they're also going to have a. Honestly, I think the Hurricane is what they're. I'm the Hurricane. I'm sorry. I think the Hornet is what they're replacing the Charger with. That's what I really feel. Now the new Charger is I think it's going to remain a two door, but I think it's going to be an EV platform, and I think you're going to have multiple different. I've already talked about the horsepower levels of the different what they're going to have, right, all the way up to the Banshee. Um, I think it's going to remain an EV. If you guys know how they design EVs, the batteries are on the bottom. I mean, you don't have really nearly as many moving parts. You don't have the fluids and all that kind of stuff like you do in a normal internal combustion car, right? I mean, you don't have the oil, you don't have the spark plugs, you don't have like all of that minutia that you typically have with your standard internal combustion offering. So you design that vehicle completely different. So some people think that there's going to be an EV version of that, and then it's also going to have a Hurricane in it. I don't see that being realistic. You would have to completely redesign the whole thing. Now, will they have a new two-door offering? I've said this. I feel like they will. I think it's still going to be a Challenger. I think they're going to redesign it, and I think they're going to give us multiple different options in a Challenger. I think they're going to have a base with the Hurricane 4 in it, which I think is going to be awesome. It's going to outperform the current GT and SXT Chargers and Challengers. Um, and then I think they're going to have a kind of a mid-range, which is going to be sort of the Scat Pack offering. We already know 510 is what the high output Hurricane 6 puts out. I think it's going to be probably a 525 horsepower, 520, 525 Hurricane equipped, much lighter, more modern Challenger. And I also feel like they're going to have a Hellcat variant, which is going to be hopped up. I can't talk much more about that. That's going to have significant horsepower. That's what I think is going to happen. And I don't think they're going to abandon the two-door segment, the two-door internal combustion segment. So I see a bunch of super chats coming in, guys. I'm going to snag them here 1 second. So that's my thought on it. Really good question. But I don't think the new Daytona Charger will come in both a 4 and a 2-door, and I don't think it's going to be both internal combustion and EV. That's my personal thought on it. So anyway, great question though. That was a fantastic question. Let me move down real quick and see who else has got super chats here. And okay, so Steven said, okay, let's see, to the cause, to the cause. Remind me about timeline on your new car, price, ADM. Keep up the great work. So obviously, I've talked about. I have a dark horse on order, which has now been delayed. You guys even know what color it is. So it is grabber blue, which is a classic Ford color. Now, there might be, I'm just going to put this out there, guys. There might be a slight chance that I may not get it. Oh, I don't know how to say this. And there's a reason. Because I've told you guys, there might be another Mopar in my future as well. And I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do both. But I'm going to leave it at that. But anyway, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see, Aaron with the super chat as well, saying number one. Thank you very much. I like the little guy down there dancing around with the number one on it. Very cool. Thank you for being very generous. I really appreciate your support tonight. And of course, Dan Hobbies jumps in as well. Dan's Hobbies says, "How do you feel about hydrogen and a hydrogen Hemi?" Interesting question here as well, Dan. I think that hydrogen could be viable. It's kind of like the electric thing, though, right? I worry a little bit about. I worry about being able to get it out there to the masses, and that's really the biggest thing. It's taken us just decade after decade after decade of having service stations and all of the things that go into making the whole fuel industry work. It is kind of this evolving thing, right? But you have lots of service stations out there. I can tell you firsthand. I mean, running full E85 is already troublesome in Tampa. Up by me, there's only 3 stations that have E85, and they're pretty far apart. And so I'm constantly planning my route out and I basically fill up every day. At least when I was daily driving the Mustang, I have a new little daily driver now. There's a reason for it, but it's one of those things that I just worry about hydrogen. I feel like it could be viable. I feel like they need to do more testing on it, but I just don't see. I don't see them being able to get it out there to the masses where it's actually usable unless something changes, and that's my biggest thing with it. So I know the potential is there. It's cleaner, but I just don't see them being able to get it out there and keep it affordable to where people will think it's really even a viable option. Does that make sense? You got to have it out there where people can access. Some people say, "Oh, well, there's this one state." Well, yeah, but if there's just one place that you can get, if they run out, you kind of see where I'm going with it. You got to have it out there. It's got to really be gettable, and then I think things change a little bit. So really great question on that. I have seen all the stuff on the hydrogen. A lot more testing needs to be done, and they're going to have to really ramp up if they're going that route. You need to be able to get that hydrogen readily, and right now, it's not viable. Let's see here. Beer hounds. I like it. What did Beer Hounds say? Let's see here. Huge Hugo fan here. Love your channel. Thank you very much, Beer Hounds. I appreciate it. I've not seen you on my live before, but I appreciate you joining. Still have 235 people out. Guys, we're doing really good tonight. I really appreciate that. We're 46 minutes in. So listen to me talk. And one of my favorite comments when I see like when I look at some of my review videos is somebody inevitably will chime in and say, you talk too much. Well, guys, sorry. Like, it's a review. Like, would you just want me to stand there and smile and just have the car in the background and not say a word? Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes I look at some of the comments. I'm like, okay, well, whatever works, man. But anyway, let me look and grab a couple more comments, and then I want to jump into something else. So give me 1 second here. You guys have been very generous tonight. Thank you for all the super chats. Let's see here. SRT, Hellcat Hemi, keep it OG, keep it Mopar. I love it. Let's see here. Rev 68, good, clean hydrogen cells are the issue. Well, agreed with that 100%. Let's see here. What does Steven say? If your slot open on the dark horse, let me know. I can contact you. Well, right now, I don't know what direction we're going. With the dark horse. And I will say this. I don't know if you guys remember my good buddy Rob, probably my best friend, lives back in Texas. He's been on my channel a bunch. He had that beautiful 392 Charger. I know he's looking to get into something special. And I got to believe if I gave up my allocation on the dark horse for something truly epic, it had to be something truly epic. Then he would probably snag that. He would probably snag that car, and I'd be so happy to see him in that car because he loves everything about the way I spec'd it out. So anyway, there's that piece of it. Let me see what else came across. Aaron again. What did Aaron say this time? Oh, with the Fox. I love it. Thank you very much, Aaron. I really appreciate it. But anyway, I really appreciate that. Certainly something to think about. Let's see here. Base Lightning 666. Get the Demon. I love it. Let's see here. A lot of people think the Demon is gettable. I don't know if you guys have seen what's going on with the 170, but people are paying stupid money. I did inquire about it, so I will put that out there. But yeah, stupid money for that car. Let's see here. Look at Drag Van jumping in here as well. It says, have you watched Stone Cold take on America's show July 9th, season finale at Irwindale? Drag Van might be on the show. Can't say much more about it. So Drag Van has been with me for years. He drag races an ice cream truck, which is just insane to me, but it's fast. And it would be really cool to see that thing on TV. So keep me posted on that, buddy. Send me something on Instagram if it makes the show. I would absolutely love to see. I would love to see that thing in action. That would be super cool. So wow, 217 likes, guys. Thank you guys very much for chiming in and being on my live tonight. Let's see here. What is this? Problematics. Are they delaying? Let's see. It's already June. Yeah, I don't know if he's talking about the dark horse or not, but yeah, the dark horse. I got a note from Ford saying that it's been temporarily delayed. Apparently, they're supposed to be producing the S650 Mustang GT right now. Obviously, the dark horse, they're not going to produce very many in 2023. Matter of fact, they're probably going to produce fewer of the dark horse than they are like the Dodge Demon. It's probably just there not going to be as many. So, really good question. But yeah, I don't, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that car in terms of when it actually comes out. Thank you again, Drag Van, for the super chat. Let's see here. Eddie says he can see me in a Demon 170. Yeah, I could see myself in a Demon 170 too. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see here. Who else have I? Look at Steven jumping in here. He says, "What would be your non-Mopar dream car?" You know what, Steven, that's a really good question. There are so many cars out there that I find really appealing. So it's two answers on this. Really good. I love this question. My true answer is I have always been in love with a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. But this new Lamborghini that they have out, the Revolto, it's a hybrid V12. What a bad machine. That is my new thing. The new Revolto Lamborghini. I think Stradman's got his hands on one. He's got deeper pockets than I do. But golly, I would love to have that. Because I'm really kind of digging this new hybrid thing where you still get like a V8 or like a V12 or whatever it is, plus you get the electric assist, which means you come off the line like a freaking missile. And a perfect example of this, and the second part of the question that you asked me is like, what gettable car would I get? Non-Mopar. And obviously, you guys know I have a dark horse order, but truly, I would love to get the new E-Ray. Initially, I wanted the Z06, but the E-Ray is actually faster. I mean, quicker. Like the E-Ray is a missile off the line because you get that fire-breathing V8 behind your head, and you get an electric assist on the front wheels. And like I've seen drag races where it races the Z06, which makes more power, and the E-Ray just trolls it, which is incredible to me. It doesn't sound as good as the Z06. It still sounds really good. And they're just now getting to the point where they're having a lot of fun, doing things to the C8 Corvettes. So, gettable, I think that it'd still be a reach, but I think I would love to have an E-Ray. The problem is that there's just not enough Corvette people out there for me to go out and pay 120 grand for a car because it wouldn't help my channel very much. If I'm just being honest, like it would not do much for my channel. Um, the other cars I'm bringing to the channel, I'm going to try to bring to the channel, will do much more. And so that is my plan. But really good question. So there you go. So the new Revolto Lamborghini would be like my number one choice. I know it's not the fastest thing. 765 will beat it. There's other cars out there that will beat it. But what an amazing, cool machine. Uh, and then obviously the C8 E-Ray. I think that thing is off the chain cool. So anyway, won't be getting either one anytime soon, but great question. And thank you for your support and your generosity with the super chat. So good stuff. Let's see here. What else do we get in here? McLaren says baseline. Yeah, I love the 765 as well. It's just I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The McLaren build quality, and I've driven McLarens, it just isn't there. Even though the McLarens look absolutely fantastic and they're unbelievably fast, there's just something about seeing that bull on the steering wheel in front of me. I've never been a Ferrari guy. I think, there's something iconic about a Ferrari, but the company itself, like if you mod a Ferrari, like Ferrari will come after you. Like if you want one of their flagship cars, you have to have owned like three of them. It's like literally the most bougie car company in the world. Lamborghini, they just like, we don't give a frick. Like we're just going to make cool looking stuff and it's going to sound good. It's going to look good. I like what Lamborghini represents. I love the way they sound. Ever since I was a kid, you know, that was the Countach poster on my wall when I was, in fifth grade. There's something about seeing the bull on the steering wheel. That's where I'm at with it. So anyway, guys, long-winded question, great answer. I'm sorry, great question, long-winded answer. That's what I was trying to say. Got it reversed. So anyway, guys, real quick, I'm seeing a lot. Let's see. What are your thoughts on the Navara? The Navara. I'll touch on this really quick. The Navara, they're making 150 of them. I have a hard time calling that a production car. The Navara is unbelievable. Everything I've seen, I know Brooks down in Miami. He had Parker on his channel from Vehicle Virgins, and they were out there racing the Navara around. They were talking to the CEO, all that kind of stuff. The thing is off the chain insane. $2.5 million for that car. and they're making 150 of them. I mean, you want to talk about like untouchability, that is the epitome of untouchability. So it's almost hard to say that that car should really even be in any sort of consideration when it comes to normal production type cars. But in terms of being really, really fast, it is every bit of that. It is stupid fast. Matter of fact, I think it runs like 8.3 in the quarter. Here's something cool that you guys may not know: 0 to 60, the new, at least on the track, the new Demon 170 is still even faster than the Navara is. 1.66 is what the Demon, they say the Demon will run, at the track. Now, of course, the Navara would pass it, but in terms of just out of the hole, it still doesn't beat the Demon. How about that? All wheel drive, all electric. So anyway, but the Navara is a freak. But I still don't think you really consider it in any sort of comparison at all. 150 units, and and it's at a price point that most people would never even sniff. I mean, like 99.99999% of people. So that it's just, I don't know. I love it. I think it looks great. They did a great job with the design. It's in that untouchability realm. So anyway, that's what we got on the Navara. So real quick, guys, I will say I have a video coming out tomorrow. Still 208 people on. I think we're even going to get to 250 likes, guys. I'm super happy with that. I have a video coming out tomorrow that I think you guys are really going to like. It's the first time I've ever done a video like this, but I've been kind of speaking out about some of the things happening out there in the car community. So what I did, and I've been doing some research, and I went ahead and put a video together. It's already edited. It is literally sitting in the pipe for tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So you guys will see it tomorrow. I filmed my reaction to some of the most viral car videos out there right now in terms of like idiots in cars. You guys have been sending me stuff for years. So I put a compilation of videos together, and then I basically react to all this video was it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun to film, and I think you guys are really going to like it. If you I'd love to get your feedback on it. It's the first time I've tried a video like this, but I'll be interested to see how it does. It's either gonna just go crazy, or it's gonna fall flat on its face. But it's literally me reacting to some of the most ridiculous and insane car videos that are out there on the internet right now, right off of Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and I pulled a bunch of them in, and you guys will be able to see it. So have you guys seen the one where the girl drives up the back of the tow truck in Florida just here recently? That's in there. All sorts of stuff on the slideshows, people acting just completely ridiculously stupid. I react to that stuff. So there's like a little window with me talking about it, reacting, rewinding. There's some really funny parts in there. Um, I'll be interested to see what you guys think of that kind of a video. So let's see. Aaron, thank you again for the super chat. I love it. He says, bravo. Thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate it. So what do you guys think? Would you be interested in seeing a reaction video from me? Like I said, I've never tried it. I see a lot of people have a lot of success with it. Let's see. I'm going to check your comments here, but I would love to know what your thoughts are on that. Let's see here. 3V says nice. 717 Chris. Let's see if it doesn't beat a B58 Beamer, whether stock or tuned, it won't make it. Well, I think it will. I think people will be really impressed with the way the Hurricane performs. I mean, I would ask you to reserve judgment until you get the chance to drive it, and then and I realize right now it's not really gettable. You got to go find one of the top end Grand Wagoneers that are like six figures, and a lot of dealerships are not going to let you get your hands on those. That's why I did the video about me driving it. So anyway, I love this screen name. One bad mofo. You should interview law enforcement about the car culture. That's an interesting concept. That's a real interesting concept. I did see something else real quick in the news. My dad sent me something yesterday. Because you guys know I live in Tampa. Leonard Fournette has a Durango Hellcat that caught fire on 275 right down the street from me and burned up yesterday. Leonard Fournette is the running back for the Tampa Bay Bucks, and that I'd be interested. I wish I could if I knew how to get a hold of him, I would see if I couldn't get with him and maybe do a video and maybe just, I don't know, go over it and see. It would be interesting content for sure, but I don't know how to get a hold of him. So there's that. Let's see here. Was. Oh, so Aaron's saying that Leonard is a free agent now. Well, shoot, there you go. Let's see. I didn't even know. Good thing, Aaron. I haven't even seen you. How have I missed all your comments already? Let's see here. Thomas saying yes, looking forward to it. Hurricane needs to be rocked in a cool car. I agree, Sovereign Knight. Force Hobby says nothing will beat the Hemi. Just the sound alone is so much more muscle-like. I mean, nobody can contest the sound of a V8. That muscle, you can't contest it, right? I mean, it just the Hurricane will not be able to compete. First of all, it's a twin turbo, so it's not going to make as much noise, so to speak. Anyway, I mean, they're just not as loud. Those turbos act a lot like mufflers do. And like my car outside, I have no mufflers on it at all. It's a 3 inch all the way through, but it's not nearly as loud as my Hellcat was when you first fired up. Now, under full throttle, the thing is really freaking loud. But at just fire up, I mean, it's not quiet, but it's not as loud as the Hellcat was. So there's something to be said for that. Let's see here. Who else have I missed here? Aaron, who else? Okay, any luck contacting the new Black Ghost owner? No, I've not had any luck contacting the owner of the new Black Ghost, or it's actually he's the new owner of the old school original Black Ghost, who's in the Tampa area, kind of. And I know I've not had any luck. So yeah, I would, but I would still love to go check the car out sometime. Let's see. Haven't made any. Aaron saying hasn't made any jokes yet. That's why. Well, that's Aaron. That is what I expect from you is to bring like the OnlyFans jokes and all that kind of stuff. I actually have a joke in my video tomorrow about OnlyFans. You guys, if you watch the video, and you guys will see what I'm talking about. It's pretty brief, but you guys will see it. Um, let's see here. What does Steve say? He says, I'll be on vacation in Odessa next week, taking the family into Tampa for the day. Any recommendations on good places to eat? Oh, man. I am not really much of a foodie. I'm one of those guys. I like hibachi. I'm one of those guys that likes to go to like Kobe Steakhouse and just go ham on some hibachi. But they got those everywhere. It's nothing local to Tampa. I don't really know of any restaurants that I've had in Tampa. Um, there's a place called Charlie's Age Steaks down there, like right in the heart of Tampa. That's really good, but it's expensive. And my parents just went there and they said it wasn't that good. I got them a gift certificate. It was really expensive and not that good. So I don't know if I would recommend that. So anyway, I wish I had more to offer on food places, but I really don't. Let's see here. Who else have we missed? Rich GT350R says Hennessy did 1,000 horsepower Hemi conversion. The video was awful. The car was completely uncontrollable. You know what? Um, I'm not. I'm not surprised. Hold on. What did they put it in? He says 1,000 horsepower Hemi conversion. The video was awful. What car did it go in? Let's see here. Let me go down a little bit. Null. Let me see what Null says. He said, let's see. The Hurricane will be cool. Dodge just needs a lighter platform, which I think they will have. Let's see. Like the new Supra, they are killing it out there. So the Supras are doing really well. Initially, they didn't, and then they kind of took off. It was really weird. The Supra grew on a lot of people, and when I drove the Supra, I told you guys this in the past. I didn't like the car. When I first drove it, um, going into before I drove it, I didn't like it. But after I drove it, I was a big fan of it. I thought it was a lot of fun to drive. Had a really good time in the car. It was extremely darty. The turbo sound in that thing was crazy for a stock car. It sounded great. So I'm actually kind of a fan of the Supra now. I don't know if I'd buy one, but in terms of them being fun to drive, they really are. So they've grown on a lot of people. Let me grab a couple more here. Let's see here. I love the Red Man and True True Racer Color X. I love it. Let's see here. Aaron says, I do get credit, or do I get credit for it? Do get credit for what, Aaron? Did I miss it? Let's see here. Yeah, you know what? I used to. Sovereign Knight talks about how I used to do some like the funnier videos. I used to add more clips in my videos. Those of you guys have been with me for years. I used to add a lot more like funny clips to my videos. I kind of quit doing that just because it made so much work for putting the videos out. And sometimes YouTube would flag it. So I still do from time to time. I'll put very small little clips in there every once in a while, but I don't do as much of it. But I do. You guys kind of know me well. I've got kind of a wacky personality, and I still like to add a lot of humor into things. I really hope you guys enjoy that video, the reaction video tomorrow. It's a long video. It's like 25 minutes, and I really dissect some of these clips. And some of the clips are downright disappointing, and other clips, are just kind of funny. And then there's a lot sort of in between. So I'll be really interested, guys. Make sure you leave a comment on tomorrow's video. I really want to get your feedback on it to find out if that's, if you guys want to see more reaction videos from me. And thank you, my buddy, Sovereign Knight. Um, or if you guys are like, nah, I could do without the reaction stuff. I want to get some true thoughts from you guys. So real quick, I also have another couple of videos that I'm getting ready to do over the course of the next, hopefully in the next week. Um, I have something else getting ready to go in my Mustang. You guys know I'm kind of selling the Mustang, but finally I have everything I need to put something in my Mustang. I think you guys will really like it. I'm going to make a video of it and get you guys thoughts on it. So anyway, I have that piece of it, and any day now, I'm supposed to get confirmation of my Dodge dealership down the way, the one I work with all the time, which is Courtesy Dodge, getting in the brand new Super B. That is one review that I have not had in for you, and it probably is my favorite special edition of all of them because they changed the most on the Super B, and it is literally the most drag race friendly, even more so than the 1320. It comes with 18-inch drag radials rather than the 20-inch Nexons that come on the 1320. And it's a Charger. So I'm actually pretty stoked. I mean, I may not necessarily be crazy about the sticker package that comes on the Super B, but it is the most drag race oriented scat pack version that they've ever made. And so they're supposed to be getting that in here anytime. And I'd love to run down there and get that review and get it out for you guys. So those are a couple more videos that I have coming to you guys here very soon. And we still have 194 people on, 264 likes, guys. We're doing fantastic. Let me see here. So real quick, I want to talk a little bit, just real briefly, about some of the content that I brought to you guys. We're okay on time. The 2023 Swinger, I brought you that. If you guys haven't seen the Swingers out there, I did a Charger Swinger. I did not do the Challenger as well. They did get a Challenger, but I thought if I had already done the Charger, there's no sense in doing the Challenger version. But if you want to know about the Swinger Special Edition, check out my video. Put that out about a month ago. Also, Tim Kaniskis taking over Ram. What do you guys think about that? Is he going to add some more fun into the Ram brand? Do you guys think that that's going to be a good thing for the Ram brand, or do you guys think maybe it's going to be the opposite? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But anyway, Tim is now head of both Dodge and Ram. I think it's going to be a good thing. I think they're going to come up with some more exciting things. We know the new Rampage, that small truck. Initially, I thought it was only going to go to like the Brazilian market. Turns out they're probably going to have it for the US market too for 2024. So Ram will have a brand new small truck offering. Pretty cool. The real reason Stellantis ditched the Hemi. That is the big one that's caught all the fire right now. I talk about all the numbers. So if you guys have not seen that video, like I said, it's got like 25,000 views or something already and climbing. But go check that video out. If you're curious why Dodge got rid of the Hemi, that's going to be your answer. And it's really not anything to do with the executive leadership, believe it or not. So also the Chrysler 300C, this is a video that I did that did surprisingly well. And a lot of people want to know about the 6.4 equipped 300C, very limited production. And there you have it, guys. So that if you want to learn about the Chrysler 300C, I got a hold of a white one at my local dealership, did a review on it. Fun car to drive, really nice trim on it. And I actually really like that car. Aaron, thank you again. I really appreciate it. This is a good job. Aaron's been very generous tonight, but thank you so much for that. And then, of course, driving the Hurricane twin turbo. That's the other one that's doing so well right now. And a lot of people want to know what the Hurricane drives like. Well, if you want to know, go check out that video. I literally am just taking a picture in front of that particular engine. So I'd love to get your thoughts on that. The Kia EV6 GT, fastest Kia by far that they've ever made. It is actually a missile. When you talk about power per dollar, this Kia actually stacks up better than almost every other car in the world. Yes, it's an EV, but the thing is an absolute missile. It has like almost like Recaro bucket seats in it. I mean, it feels really space age inside. Heads up display. I mean, it's got everything you could want, and it is really freaking fast. The one drawback to the EV6, and I talked about it in the video, was the range. It's like 200 miles on the range, and that's going to be the big drawback, I think, for most people. Other than that, it is fantastic. And for like $63,000, guys, that is a car that that surpasses the performance of some of the most expensive and the fastest small SUVs on the market. I'm talking stuff, the Bentley Bentayga, stuff that costs like $400,000 expensive. Porsches out there. I mean, this thing competes with those at 63,000 bucks, and it's a Kia. It's stupid, stupid fast. Go check out that video if you haven't seen it. And then, of course, my last one, Dodge. And we did not talk about this, guys, but guess who won number one for initial quality from JD Power? Dodge. I was not expecting that. Apparently, Dodge has been like in the top three the last like 5 years or something. Who knew? I mean, I had no idea until I read the article and did research. But anyway, I just did a video on that a couple of days ago about Dodge taking the number one spot for initial quality. Don't mistake it, guys. Initial quality is not the exact same thing as reliability. Those are two completely different things. So anyway, I just want to kind of put it out there. What did Steven say? He says, weren't you wanting a C8 at one point? Yes, I was absolutely wanting a C8. I ordered a C8 and it came in. And a lot of people know this story, but when the C8 came in, I actually went ahead and let somebody else buy it at sticker. I waited for that car to come in for like a year. And then instead of buying the car, I moved my deposit to a Z06. I wanted to be one of the first people in the world to get a C8 Z06. And then my dealership had a policy change after being on a list for 2.5 years. And they said I had to pay $50,000 to their local charity if I still wanted to buy one. Well, homie doesn't have that kind of money to just throw out the window. So I got hooped out of the Z06. And that was going to be the flagship car for the channel. But as they say, everything happens for a reason. And I'm really excited about the other things coming to the channel towards the end of the year. That's all I'm going to tell you about it. But yes, I did, in fact, have a C8. I still love the Corvettes. Don't get me wrong. I have a great dealership I work with here in the Tampa area that does not gouge people. It's called Stingray Chevrolet, and they're a great group. The owner's a great guy. Their media director, Norm, is a great guy. I mean, I love working with those guys. Matter of fact, I need to go film with them here again pretty soon. I've not been over there in a while, but wonderful guys over there. But yeah, I just kind of got hooped out of the both the C8 and the Z06. It did not work out. So real quick, I saw a couple more. What did Aaron say? Audi interior engineer went into Kia, and it shows. Yeah, so I know they stole a bunch of guys from BMW as well. And the Kia quality in terms of power. Now, they still don't have the most luxurious kind of internal, components in terms of like, they're still a little plasticky and stuff like that. But their design has come leaps and bounds, and their performance as well. So Kia, and they have the best warranty in the business, right? 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Nobody else does that. So Kia has really cemented themselves as a brand that is still up and coming, as just a really solid car to buy. So anyway, great point there. Let's see here, and then Aaron, one more time with the super. Aaron is on it tonight with the super chats. I really appreciate that, guys. So let me see here. So we talked about just about everything I wanted to talk about, guys. I gave you my thoughts. I know I went on a rant about the Hurricane versus the Hemi. The only thing I'm asking you guys to do, because we've had the Hemi for a long time, is maybe give this Hurricane a chance. I'm willing to give it a chance. Having driven it, I can tell you it is very capable. It really does. Like once the car gets moving, the pull is not even comparable to a Hemi. It's just faster. In terms of longevity, that's going to be the thing, right? Will it be able to tow, a heavy boat around in a vehicle and be reliable for 150,000 miles, all that kind of stuff? That, I think, is the reason a lot of people are skeptical about it. When you look at the internal parts on that car, or I'm sorry, on the engine, it's a well-made, much more modern engine. The design on that engine is fantastic. Dodge, I mean, they were bragging up and down about that engine at SEMA, and now I see why. Now that I've had a closer look at what the Hurricane drives like, I know more about it. I think people will slowly start to open their hearts a little bit to the Hurricane once they see what it can do. It's just the sound isn't there like a Hemi. I'm sorry, it is what it is. But if you like speed, you can't not like the Hurricane. And some people would say, look, I would rather have the slower thing if it sounds good, and there's some merit to that. Me, and that's the whole thing with electrics, right? Is they're really fast, but they don't sound like much at all, and that's been a drawback for a lot of people, and it kind of takes away from the driving experience. And I would tend to agree with that, and Dodge knows that. So there's some give and take with it. There's no right or wrong. But I do hope some people will kind of just give it a chance, maybe drive it and see if they like it. And that's really all you can hope for at this juncture. And I'm the same way. If they throw it in, if they throw a 520 horsepower Hurricane and a much lighter Charger or Challenger, it's most likely going to be a Challenger two door. Um, I'm going to drive the crap out of it, and I want to know, what I want to know how it drives, and I want to see really kind of how it performs in a bunch of different ways. So we'll see, guys. But at any rate, I'm getting pretty tired. I'm going to grab a couple more comments. We're 75 minutes in, so I'm a little bit over. We still have almost 175 people on. It looks like we may almost get to 300 likes tonight, guys. That would be a massive milestone for just a random live that I did, because a lot of you guys didn't know I was coming live tonight. I didn't put it out there on my community page. But if you guys have not already hit thumbs up for me, please do so. Maybe we can get to 300 right before we jump off here. And guess what? The stream didn't collapse. I'm so happy. At least not yet. So maybe maybe YouTube, same thing, worked out some of the kinks we've been having with all of the lives. Oh yeah, here come the guys. You're awesome tonight. Really appreciate it. Here come all the likes. So let's see here. An option button for different sounds in the EV. They've talked about that. Like, do you want it to sound like a chainsaw? Do you want it to sound like somebody passing gas? I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing with electrics, is you can make it sound like whatever. Let's see. Kessler's RT. Let's see. All the old heads will have a change of heart when the six twin turbos putting 7 to 900 horsepower with just downpipes in a tune. Well, that is completely within the realm of possibilities. That's the thing about this engine. I don't necessarily know if some of the true muscle guys will have a change of heart, just because they just really like the Hemis, and I get it. I mean, the Hemi has been the backbone of this brand for forever. I mean, all the way back into the 50s. So I get it. Change is tough, and especially when it's forced change. You know what I mean? Um, but we have to move forward, and that's the only way. I would rather them try and change than just give up and throw their hands up and go, "We're not doing this anymore." So give us a chance to see, if we really like it. And I would ask you guys to do the same thing. Let's wait and see what they give us. This year's Speed Week, I do want to add this real quick. Speed Week this year, I think last year's Speed Week, do you guys agree it was terrible, right? It let so many people down. I mean, when they gave us the Hornet, they gave us an all electric Banshee, and the first day was just terrible, right? I mean, they gave us a $200,000 carbon fiber shell. If you want to order a drag pack, which basically one in like a billion people is going to order. They showed us the Durango Hellcat, which we've already seen. It was out for one more year. Just they didn't overwhelm us with anything at Speed Week this past year. Most people really did not like the Hornets. People are curious about the Banshee, but a lot of people, because it's electric, dismiss it. This year's Speed Week, I think they're going to show us some things that we can really get excited about. I really do believe that. I think it's going to be a more exciting Speed Week. I think you're going to hear them talk about the fact that last year didn't go as well as they'd hoped. But I think this year is going to be a lot more exciting, and we've got about a month and a half before Speed Week, and we're going to know. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that Dodge gives me a call and asks me to come back. I think they will, as far as I know, but we'll see. I mean, I can bring you a lot of live content again, like I did last year. So we'll see what happens with that. One or two more. Wait a minute. Who did I miss? Aaron, what did he say? He says, better get a good review of it. Let's see if you get it before I dump my granddaughter's college fund into mine. I absolutely will. Now, Aaron, of course, somebody who's open to to the electric movement to a degree. So I think he's like me. He's like, if it's fast, I'm gonna at least give it a shot. So I appreciate that. Don't spend your daughter's college fund on that. I think we all know he's not going to really do that. But at any rate, I appreciate it, buddy. So let me see really quick. I'm going to just grab, let's see here. Clint says we live in an interesting time in history. You know what, Clint? I fully agree with that. Things are weird right now, are they not? We need 8 more likes, guys. Let's see here. Michael Robinson, I want a Dodge/Ram Charger 4x4. Nothing wrong with that. Carboy do what is this? Dory Fudo Party. That's a different kind of screen name. He says, I'll just throw this out here. If the Hurricane inline six can make close to the same gains as looks like the BMW S58, then I honestly think it would be a really good engine. I think it's actually going to surpass that, if I'm being honest with you. I think once you guys see what it's capable of, I think you'll like it. It's going to take some time. It really will. And like I said, I don't want people to misunderstand me when I tell them like I like the Hurricane for what it's capable of, because I still love the Hemis. You guys know, I mean, I've had a bunch of Hemis, and I like them. I really do. I think they're great and they're fun and they're kind of the identity of the brand. It's tough. Change is tough. So anyway, what did Aaron say? Aaron has been on it tonight, huh? Let's see. What did Aaron says? Let's see. Own three different vehicles: a 23 Durango SRT, a 17 Shelby GT350 Mustang, fantastic, and a 2020 Jaguar F-Type R convertible. Velocity AP Stage 3. You know what? A lot of people sleep on those F-type cars. I actually have quite a few folks that I know that like those cars, and they're a little bit underrated. And so you got quite the nice garage right there. I love that. Fantastic. Thank you again for the super chat. And I actually like all three of those cars. So anyway, guys, I probably need to hang it up. We almost got to 300 likes, guys. So we almost got there tonight. Uh, Hang on one second. Come over here, buddy. Over on the other side. Oh, you're going to pull my cord out. I think my dog wants to say hi. Hey, you want to say hi real quick before we leave? Don't. He wants to pull my laptop down. Hang on, guys. Come here. Don't knock my laptop over, bro. Come here. There you go. You want to say hi? Oh, you're a good boy. K9X. You guys see him in some of my videos now. He gets included when we go to the dog park. So, yeah, you're a good boy, huh? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Get down. I'm almost done. All right. Anyway, guys, let's see here. I got to jump off here. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. It's been a great live. Thank you once again. Man, I always enjoy these. I really should do them more often, but sometimes when I wait a little longer, I think they're a little more fun because I have more to talk about. So anyway, thank you guys again for all your super chats. I did not get a chance to say bye to you guys last time because the stream cut off. So I just want to kind of throw it out there. Yeah, the world's a crazy place. I know I tell you guys that all the time. Make sure you guys watch my video tomorrow and you'll see just how crazy it really is in my reaction video, 4 o'clock tomorrow Eastern. And anyway, don't forget about what's really important out there. You know, sometimes I find myself getting less and less patient with people because people can be really inconsiderate. But at the end of the day, you never know what somebody else is going through, and sometimes it's best to just take a deep breath, take a step back, and give them the benefit of the doubt. And just remember what's really important, and that's getting home to your families, being safe, and being supportive. And that's really what I love about you guys. You guys have always so supportive of me. You know, I consider you guys all part of my extended family, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. Those of you guys that have been with me a day, or those of you guys that have been with me almost 5 years now. And you guys all mean the world to me. So thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do in support of my channel and support of me. And don't forget, hold your families tight. And I will see you guys on the next one. So until then, RacerX.